a giant walking around a coffee table for 6 hours. Hey, Darryl.
What's up, Darryl?
Hey,
How
what's
you
going on,
doing,
y'all?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
I think
about.
Fight the Deception is going to jump on too. I'm not sure.
Ah, awesome.
Really?
Hey, Darryl.
How you
Hey,
doing?
how y'all doing?
Like,
Doing good.
Huh? I've talked to you in a while.
Yeah. Seemed like we just haven't been on at the same time. It seems like.
Yeah, I haven't been around too often. I'm just now getting
Oh,
back into the swing of things.
that's right. That's right. I remember somebody on one of those Discord channels was saying you left them. It was saying you went ghost for a while.
Yeah, I was moving, and then I had my birthday, and just this and that. So
Aha. Awesome.
Oh, you're a year older now this year.
I unfortunately, and it just doesn't stop. That's the worst part.
Did you get a surprise for your birthday?
no.
Not a surprise. I kind of knew it was going to happen, but I don't want to be too graphic.
Did you have to open your present?
A dress, yeah, but I don't. Is that relevant?
Well, I'll just be in general.
Yeah, at this age, I don't want presents. I just wanted to do it and go to bed.
You don't want the wrapping or anything.
No, definitely not.
No.
That's just takes all
Creating extra work.
There wasn't any batteries included.
Yeah, there was, but that's just called playing. Oh, you have no idea, my friend. Yeah, trust me, the shape of the earth don't matter in here.
Oh.
Going-
What you up to? What?
And earlier I was talking with Shawn Becker about some of the claims he made. Interesting, just having fun. My sleep schedule got thrown off, so here I am. It's 4:40 a.m. and I'm still up.
Gee whiz.
So I figured I'd just get on and find some flat earther to
harass.
Sorry, with. Yeah, I guess so.
Bandy, step forward.
Yeah, mate. No, we were just having fun. We're having shits and giggles. We're just filling in time.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Ben saw step up to the plate, but I said no. I should say no, roll up to the plate in your wheelchair.
I was feeling sorry for the flat earth side, Darryl. I thought they needed some numbers again.
You transition back over briefly just to help them out.
Oh, man. And then Dean comes in and just fucks everything up.
Dean, you're ruining the perception.
It was all right. It was all right when it was just
You're
Shawn,
ruining the
when it was just
deception,
Shawn.
Dean.
That's right. It was all right. It was just Shawn. Shawn was agreeing with me. All right? He was
We're on
helping
the
the
moon. We're on
cause.
the moon.
What the?
We're playing with the moon.
Oh yeah, when you were forcing me to agree.
Oh, I'm forcing you. God, my God, you exaggerate. Forcing you. Yeah, we've got it recorded.
What type of force was it?
We've got it
Liquid
recorded
kind.
on. We have it recorded on both streams, both Crash's and yours, that you were agreeing with me. We can rewind this.
Please do.
Ooh, that's close.
Trying to finish writing something. Hang on. All right, I can pay attention again. No,
Oh no!
I'll take notes. I'm preparing for a geoengineering stream tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Warner's out. If anyone's interested.
Who?
Warner and Finch are out. It's 2 for 10.
Well, how's this one for Shawn? They won the toss and they're going to bat.
Oh, they're batting. Yep,
Yeah, but they won the toss. What is
that's right.
that
For the
term?
coin toss.
Doesn't mean what they mean.
Yeah, they won the coin toss. Congratulations.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have thought it might have been something else.
No,
Oh, you mean like a salad?
oh god! Oh my god!
Is that what you assumed I would say?
Yeah, salad, yeah.
Yeah, if you Aussies were around more, you guys would have been able to have been here for the Rumpus Challenge.
Oh, yeah?
I was.
Oh,
Yes, you were. I'm gonna tell you now. You were insanely close.
Who
What?
won?
Really?
Oh
I didn't even have a photo.
I had a couple people decide because I couldn't objectively. So I think it was Menace and Tesla's Apple, but I think it was Shawn Hawkins and you True that were just neck and neck on the backside. I think it was see, no, I got it written down somewhere.
Geez, all I had was all I did was colour the jersey and put a wine glass in my hand.
But it was creative. And then, when I asked why, I asked the three people why they picked Tesla Apple, and they all said because it looks like the original one, and I went, well, yeah, that's what it is, and he just put like the apple, and he was like, well, that's clever, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's why you picked it, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, that makes good job, guys. I'm gonna do. I got another one coming up. It's gonna be pretty badass, and this one is gonna. I'll actually have a giveaway gift before I even announce it. It's gonna be wonderful. I'm gonna start doing more of those, just because it's fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I just got to find someone else to mimic, like a Dean or something,
Or a Pastor Pete.
No, I have a feeling if I did a Pete challenge, it would go way too far. I could only imagine. That's what I'm gonna find. It'll be someone that just is very unexpected and didn't expect it to happen. It's gonna be fun. Either that or something. I don't know. I didn't realize it'd be fun. I thought it'd be stressful, but it's actually fun. And are you guys going to ever win as a gift card? So congratulations. That was like the worst part. I'm like, what kind of gift cards do you get? And my girl's like, you have to get Amazon. And I'm like, why would I get Amazon? Why not like Best Buy or movies? And they're like, she's all, don't most people not live in the United States? I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Amazon would be better.
Yeah, I'm going to do Amazon next time.
We can actually get it now.
Yeah. Well, you still can. It's just going to take a long time for you guys to get those packages.
Oh, no, we can go. They've got a Australian Amazon warehouse now.
Ah, nice. Yeah, that's what I'm definitely going to Amazon. It doesn't even make sense not to.
You could be really evil. Oh no, I won't say it because that'd be like proper asshole-ish. You could like go and buy, because I didn't know that Radio Shack isn't a thing anymore in the United States.
Yeah, they got rid of it a while ago.
Yeah, but you could probably find on eBay like £1,000 worth of Radio Shack vouchers, and then to everybody that isn't in the States, they'll think, "Fucking hell, it's worth actually just traveling to the States to redeem these or something."
Oh wow.
Yeah,
what was it? I know. The best part about when Radio Shack closed down out here, there was down where here in San Diego, there was at least 3 stores that like halfway through emptying them out, they just left. Doors open all night, and people just walked in and just got what they needed, looked around, realized there was no register, and that was the end of those Radio Shacks. It was pretty crazy for a minute.
Wow.
But I mean, it wasn't nothing serious. It was just, stupid component parts and doodads here and there. Nothing, no GPSs and shit like that. But yeah, so I should do that, huh? Find a store that doesn't exist in the UK and then have only UK winners.
Yeah, Macklin's doesn't exist anymore now, which was our equivalent to Radio Shack. It was called Macklin's.
Well, to me, it seems ridiculous. Why? I mean, Amazon is so great. I mean, I can order it and get it tomorrow.
I can order now all the way up until about 12 midday and get it the same day. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, that.
I think mine... I was looking on it earlier. My hours are weird. Like it doesn't, like I have to like hit it at the right time for it to work. But for the most part, yeah, I can get it next day, and I have to figure out exactly what time it is that I get it same day still. Like, I'm pretty sure if I ordered something right now, I'd get it today. Because it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning right now.
Talking of which, Shawn, I'm going to say thank you.
Sir, thank you.
And I'll think of something else, and we'll do this again.
Okay, sounds good.
For sure.
We'll finish the gravity conversation.
Yeah. Yep. We'll finish something maybe, or start something new. Who knows?
And a bit of push and pull.
Yeah, a bit of push and pull. bit of Cavendish, bit of Newtons. We'll get it all in there. It's good for shits and giggles. That's for sure, guys. All right. I got cricket to watch.
Catch ya.
So 2 years old. Ciao.
See you, Bandy.
See
Have a
ya.
good
See you
one, sir.
later.
See you later.
Okay. Bye.
There you go. Cricket's more important than you, Shawn. Just to show you.
What the fuck? Why is Jiminy Cricket more important?
And more important than the shape of the earth.
Yeah.
Well, that is true.
Well, the pitch is flat.
Is it
That
level?
must be flat.
Is it level?
Ooh, it's debatable.
Is it?
How long are you going to go on, Shawn?
I could end it any second right now. I'm actually exhausted
I should get some
Oh.
sleep.
because I know I'm going to go live later on today. So, like I said, the Aussies forced me to do it, and like all the Aussies are like, "I'm out of here now." F you.
Yeah, well, I'm on holidays at the moment, so I've been watching Jose at ungodly hours of the morning.
Yeah.
Well-
I think I'm gonna watch the Jose's replay from his dog having the puppies.
Did he actually
have
have? Yes.
Yeah, he
I don't know.
streamed it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
wow.
It was like 8 hours ago.
I know he was doing it. I just didn't know if he had actually streamed it or not.
Yeah, I can link it.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
It's on the YouTube chat.
okay, awesome. Yeah, if you guys aren't going to chat it up, I'm probably going to end it because I like to wake up and be ready to stream because I do plan on streaming tomorrow. So
You mean today?
is that, yeah, gee, I'm so tired right now. Like
tomorrow for us.
Like an hour ago, I went, you should not be streaming. What are you doing? And it was too late. I'd already started.
Hey, Shawn, Fight the Deception is asking for a link.
Oh, I'll stay for him.
Wait, what?
You guys should actually go watch Jose's debate stream, the last one, when Dysfunctional Navigator came in.
Oh, no,
my God.
no. I listened to that shit. I ain't
Was
watching.
it
Did you?
114? What
Yeah.
episode was
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, whatever the last one was, I think it was 114.
Okay. Well,
No,
I'll
jeez.
be going to watch it.
All right,
Thanks
sir.
for the stream. Was nice chat and
Yep. I'll see you later on. I'll probably see you. I know
Yeah.
I'll see you around.
See you, Wolf.
yeah,
Yeah.
bye.
Have a good one, sir. Yeah. Yeah. If Fight the Deception wants to come on, I'll stay up. I don't care. I want to have a conversation with him. I kind of called him out in his own emails. I don't even know. I'm so tired right now. But he is somebody I would want to debate because I remember that conversation you guys had with satellites.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, seems like an easy win.
Well, according to him, my understanding is, according to him, he won, though.
No, he lost bad. I just remember going, do you like? I remember his evidence was showing us stuff and him saying he didn't know what it was. That was his evidence. That's what I remember. I remember him saying things didn't work, even though they did. Or he said things were impossible, even though they weren't.
Yeah.
It was kind of like one of those things. But the main thing was that he kept presenting evidence that he couldn't explain.
That's right. Like that wire video. That was the funniest one.
Yes, exactly. The wired one, and then the ones with the it looked like he was looking at something with infrared
Oh yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
night scope or whatever,
yeah,
night
yeah,
vision or whatever it is.
yeah,
And it was like, what is that? And he's like, I don't know. That's what I'm asking you guys. I'm like, what?
yeah.
This is
That's,
your evidence.
yeah, that's exactly the conversation I had with Shawn Becker there. Oh man, it's a common federal. He's like, dude, you only believe what Einstein says. I'm like, interesting. I'm like, okay, well, how do you know that? Well, don't you believe what he says? What you asking me for? You just so like the Great Lakes are 600 feet below sea level and they flow downhill. How is that possible on the globe? I'm like, well, what's the problem with that? Doesn't level mean level? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you? So yeah,
Fight to deception. I'll try sending it to the email and try going it in it in coming in here through there. I
one
don't know
of-
why
one
it's not working for him.
one interesting thing about that the video that Fight the Deception made and that Paul on the plane made, he tried to get away from it later when I brought it out because he was saying, oh, you was going back to Paul on the plane, but that's the video he presented. Did anybody else notice that in Paul the Plane's videos when he's saying that they're faking weather patterns or whatever, that actual page says it's monitoring like ambient temperature or something like that? Like the actual page that he's using for his point says something different.
Oh, of course.
Of course, it's common with flat earthers. I remember Rez Rhetoric was debating somebody about they was trying to say the Earth curved, things disappearing at the bottom is some kind of refraction or something. And they like look at this picture from very far away, and in the actual description of the picture itself, the people were saying like this is a rare refraction phenomena that we could only see once or twice a year or something at the proper time and
The
location. And it's like,
the longest picture, the
yeah,
first
yeah.
distance. Yeah.
They're like, dude, you presenting the picture, just read the damn description. It's like it's crazy,
Yeah.
man.
It's the same way as the whole gravity force thing. They're all arguing for general relativity, which is gravity still.
hmm or when they always want to quote like Shawn Becker there, he was like, even Einstein said something. Even Einstein said you can't see the curve or something like that. So I'm like, well, what was Einstein's position on the shape of the Earth? Then he goes to talk about something else. So I had to ask him like 5 times to finally answer the question. Yeah, it's crazy. Then he started maligning Einstein. He's like, well, I don't know, I don't remember the stuff he was saying, but a whole bunch of slander. I'm like, oh, but you quote him when it suits you, right?
Mm. Well, just ask him, do you believe that you're smarter than Einstein? And then
Hey,
have them prove it.
but hey, conspiracy cats. When he was debating Nathan, I guess that was Nathan Thompson. He blatantly said, "These other people know better, more about thermodynamics than me, or I understand I don't know as much about these people." But yet he's still saying thermodynamics proves that space can't be real, the atmosphere, whatever he said. So apparently they don't know that they're not as smart as the people. They don't even know that they don't even know the subject is better. But some kind of way they will still believe they can draw better conclusions or dismiss their findings. It's just absolutely illogical, man. You saw that video, right? With him
Hmm?
versus conspiracy cats.
Yeah, I just saw it.
He literally said, "I understand I don't know as well as these people," or something like that. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's like I've been telling people, it gets to the point at certain points where it's like, we can't have this conversation. You don't even know what you're arguing for.
Exactly. Yeah.
And once you get to that, it really is. Like I said, I honestly am in the transition of getting this stream into the subjects that I normally do, like geoengineering, weather modification, like those things. I'd much rather talk about government and all that kind of crap than flat Earth. I
I
mean,
understand.
realistically, as far as I'm concerned, I've already debunked flat Earth. A lot of people have.
Dozens of times over.
Uh,
I understand, man. My show Sunday, I think I talked about astral projection or something, and Wednesday I talked about the proofs of the globe. So yeah, man, it's just starting to become a waste of time. I'm like can't go to sleep and extremely bored. I was like looking for one. Like yeah, come on, so I could get a laugh real fast. But so what? Fight the Deception is working on coming right now.
Yeah, I sent the link into his email and the email that we have back and forth. So we'll see if that works. What was I going to say? The only upside to this streaming thing is that I'm still learning. So
Yes,
I mean, that's the only good part. Luckily, I mean, I have really smart motherfuckers that come on my streams most of the time and just have a lot of really good shit to say that I can learn and everything. So that's the main reason I still do it. But that's why like Seek and Finds, Mind of God, like that's why you don't see him here anymore. Because I got to the point where it's like, you're not helping. You're not aiding to my knowledge. You're hindering it.
Yeah, but Shawn, you don't see them anywhere anymore, to be honest.
Because everyone's sick of them. Well, I know that's why.
Yeah, but that doesn't work. That doesn't work with Pete.
With Pete, oh, yeah.
Hey,
Well, no,
hey,
the thing is,
Shawn.
I can kick Pete, and he's understanding of it. I kicked him yesterday, and he understood. What's up, Terry?
I was just going to ask, is it okay if I drop a link to my Discord in the side chat?
Oh, fuck yeah, absolutely, sir.
Yeah, because Wade's Underworld is an Aussie that I know of.
Yeah. He's the guy that came out with that badass flat Earth versus the globe Earth meme upload thing. It was pretty funny. I played it it was a while ago. I played it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, he's cool, dude.
I think I know how to do this.
Okay, just share it, copy and then paste.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
You know what? This brings up another thing that I commonly run in with flat earthers. Like they will make a claim, and then you point out how silly the claim is, and then they act like you're somehow. It's like, how dare you? I'm like, what the? You the one that said it. I mean,
Well, that's the whole like it's like have you ever been to space? No, but neither have you. So how do you know it doesn't exist? Or how do you know there's a dome if you've never been there?
mm-hmm.
Or like it gets frustrating, and
That's what I'm
It has to be a dome because there's pressure inside it. Pressure has to have a container.
gravity's the container. But then you got to understand how gravity works to a certain extent to understand that.
Is that a real flat earther talking, or is that somebody trolling? Playing?
No, Terry, yeah,
No,
he's
I'm just here for the for some reason I don't know.
yeah. He's just he's cool.
Even I don't know why I'm here. Why am I here?
Yeah, we're flat Earth free at the moment.
Okay.
You're escaping the cricket.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
You're here because it's only 8 p.m.
That too.
8 p.m. No, it's 3 a.m.
Yeah, you're in the past, Shawn.
You got your clock wrong.
No,
And your moon's
guys' is definitely
upside
wrong.
down. Yeah, turn your moon around the other way.
No, your moon's upside down.
Your stars rotate the wrong way.
Oh, jeez.
And I don't know
Australia doesn't exist. What?
What's this polarity keep going on about? Never seen it.
Shouldn't be either.
I've seen it.
The fun. Jeez. Just think, Australia doesn't exist. You have a conversation with Aussies, and somehow flat earthers think it doesn't exist still.
No, don't we get paid by Disney or someone?
What? You do? They pay much better than NASA, I heard.
Oh, okay.
I know one argument that needs to be won on flat Earth and put to bed because flat Earthers think this is a real thing, and they think they've explained it and proved it so much that why is anybody even asking about it? And that's the things disappear from the bottom up. Arwin calls it natural concealment phenomenon. It's like,
What?
what the hell are you on about? So Jose got me and Alwyn together on one of his shows, and I started asking him about the sun and the apparent optical phenomenon that is the sun, that independent of any optics can give out energy that we can measure independent to an observation. So it's not an optical phenomenon, or if it is, it just coincides with the source of the energy as well. So there you go. But then he went on about natural concealment, and then I made him rage quit when I started drawing a diagram. Because I want a flat earther to explain things disappearing from the bottom up and come up with a formula with me for it. But no one ever has, but they just think it's absolute proof. And it's proven, and they don't need to do anything.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of that. Let's see if that link works. I don't know why Flat Earth or Fight the Deception can't get in.
Can't you invite him based on his email address?
I don't think so. Not only for friends, but I'll try it. Or I don't know what his email is. That's the problem.
I thought you just said you'll email him the link, so you must have got it, right?
Well, no. I went to the email that we had together and sent it, but it's the same thing. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure it's on his end. I'm not sure if he's on a cell phone. I know cell phones, tablets, and computers all do the same, or all do different things when you hit that link. But I just put the URL into the chat rather than the share URL, and it's different. I don't know why, but it is. Because that's what I learned that one a while ago. If you share this one, with the invite box, that link works. But
wait a minute. He's on. Sorry, Shawn. Sorry, he's on an Android device, and it's just taking him to Google Play. That's because he has to download the Hangouts app in order for that link to work.
That's weird. Yeah. So it's a separate app for the Hangouts in the Google app.
When it comes on Android.
Yeah. Well, it is on iOS as well. I've got a Hangouts app on iOS. So.
Yeah, but when you do that, you can go. It'll ask you if you want to go through a browser. That may be it. Fight the Deception. When you hit that link, paste that in one of your browser apps. It may work that way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's better just getting the app, the Hangouts app.
Much better. Much better.
Yeah, it's just better to use a PC.
Or a Mac.
Mac, I don't know about them.
Jeez. Dean, every day you just make it worse for yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm an Apple developer, so... I'm not going to do that on. Not going to do that on Windows, am I? So
no bias there.
No, I've also got a gaming virtual reality rig, which is a Windows PC. So
okay,
I've got both. I've got a Linux workstation somewhere as well.
Well, I can tell you right now, I hate Android. I don't even know why.
Have you got an Android phone, Shawn?
I got both.
Which is your daily driver, your personal phone?
Apple.
Right.
iOS, yeah. It's just so much easier. I don't have to worry about being hacked every 5 seconds.
What iPhone have you got?
That's just a 6S. I am also a person that hates upgrading.
You mean you hate spending money?
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Hey, Shawn, the other Shawn is saying he has trouble getting in too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea why.
Maybe they don't like Shawn's.
Dude, let me see. I don't know why. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm too tired to give a fuck. If you're here, you're here. If you can't, you can't. I'm not going into the extras. Usually I'm like Googling, trying to figure it out, but I'm tired, man. Fucking Aussies. What's up, Dreads? How you doing, sir? My boy Dredge is in there in the chat. He must be getting ready for work or something. Yeah, but like I said, yeah, this is what's happening right now is exactly what it's the flat Earth conversation has come to. Oh, absolutely. Where it's
Wade wants to drop in to test his headset.
Yeah, Fight the Deception. I already emailed you the link, but if you need me to do it again, I will.
Hey y'all, if y'all would take a moment, maybe y'all can help me out here. Maybe y'all can help make sure it's not just me. This is what Shawn Becker said. That's what he said right there. So I'm asking them, okay, you said that the Great Lakes are 600 feet above sea level and they flow down to the ocean. How is that possible on the globe? I'm asking, why is that a problem? And he keeps saying, well, you're forgetting the part about the 10 states that are flatter than a pancake. So I'm like, okay, so you said 10 states are flatter than a pancake, but you said this about the Great Lakes. Why is that a problem? What are you saying? And for some reason, he's still saying, I keep forgetting the first part. Is it just me, or is it possible to address the Great Lakes without having to keep talking about? Is it possible to address the Great Lakes and stop avoiding it totally and only wanting to say 10 states?
For me, that 10 state statement is dishonest, because flat isn't something that you can exclusively use to determine how straight and level and flat something is in relation to something else.
But this is about the lakes, though. Like, is it possible to simply address the Great Lakes part and explain why it's a problem that water can be above sea level and flow to the ocean? Is it possible to just address that point by itself?
Wait a minute. So the Great Lakes are above sea level. What are the heights of the Great Lakes? Let me have a look.
Well, you're saying it's 600 or 700 feet above sea level. I looked it up. That's pretty much accurate. And you're saying, and they flow down to the ocean. How is that possible on the globe? I'm asking him to explain that, but he keeps saying you forget. He's not. He's acting or seems to believe there's some kind of dilemma with simply explaining that comment.
I'm confused by the question. It actually makes a lot of sense. What's up, Wade? Do you want to test that?
Hey, Shawn, how are you, mate?
Exactly. In other words, it makes sense.
Are we working?
Yeah, yep, we hear you.
Thanks, dudes.
Yep.
Cool.
How about me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I can hear you.
Shawn, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, guys.
No problem. How you doing, Fight?
Could be better, could be worse.
Well, that's Fight the Deception?
Yeah.
How you able to get on? What'd you have to do?
He had to email me the link.
Because it's too early in the morning. Everybody's sleepy. The system's sleepy. Everything's sleepy.
My brain hurts.
This is another thing I always notice flat earthers do. Is consistent. Like, they make a claim, and you point out the claim doesn't make any sense, and you're like, well, no, it's the other part. Something like when I was,
Sorry, I've just been looking at the Great Lakes, and it flowing through Montreal. It goes through Montreal, doesn't it? And then out into the into the ocean that way. But it does actually flow. Believe it or not, I think it actually flows. Well, in topological data on Google Earth, it flows uphill slightly in some areas, and that sounds really counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Well, that would be more just the force of the body of water behind it, or upstream.
Yeah. So you can have water flowing uphill so long as the downhill leg produces enough force to get it over that hump. And you do get natural oscillation humps on riverbeds as well. Mm-hmm. So it's always actually at some points flowing up and over. It's just a force that takes it, and that up and over might not necessarily be shallow enough for you to figure out, hey, hang about, this river's actually going up a little bit.
That's kind of where how lakes are made. and then how rivers wind, all the above. It's just how it works.
But that flat as a pancake, that statement, the state's statement, is a bit weird to me, because you describe flat as in having. I describe where I live at the moment, which is Buckinghamshire, and a place called Milton Keynes, incredibly flat, because I come from Yorkshire, which is more northern, and it has hills. So it could be a topological description. All the states are incredibly flat because they don't have much ground undulation or mountain ranges or hills. So they are therefore flat. But that's no indication that they are, single direction flat.
I mean, one reason why I didn't even bother addressing that is just in my experience with the flat earthers. Shawn Beck, which 10 states are you talking about?
It's hard to follow people inside chat when they're talking.
Yeah. Well, Dean, did you know that whole term "flat as a pancake" it isn't very flat?
That's been debunked. That's been debunked.
Yeah, right.
I think a billiard ball's smoother than the Earth.
Yeah, stuff like that.
You mean the Earth is smoother than a billiard ball?
Yeah, I knew it was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of us isn't lacking sleep right now, so there you go.
Touche.
So I don't believe that he's actually been to those 10 states and verified that. So
Got a clue that we're all not reading.
Huh?
You gotta let us know what you're talking about because we're not reading.
Shawn Becker about the 10 states.
Oh, the 10 states.
They never verify stuff. When do they really?
Exactly, but so that's why I didn't even worry about it. But I mean, the idea that something above sea level can flow down to sea level, that seemed monumental to me that he thought that's a problem. So that's why I was like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. But I mean, I don't believe he went to those 10 states anyway. Of course,
I'm guessing. I'm gonna take a wild guess and think and go. Is he trying to say north?
He said to the ocean. So I'm just letting him back up his position. I'm starting to get tired of trying to fill in their own gaps in logic for them.
Yeah.
I just let them just wallow in their own ignorance, and hopefully they can,
Well, it'd have to show evidence or a photo of a water rise, not a waterfall.
Well,
you guys can look. You guys can look that up, though. I mean, there is. I haven't been to all 10 states that they're claiming that, but I know that the one for sure that they did was Kansas, and it was a university that surveyed the entire state of Kansas, and they rate a pancake, I think it's 0.996 flatness.
Yeah.
And Kansas was 0.997 or something like that.
Yeah, it was something along those lines. And what you call it? I think Mythbusters and a couple other things did it.
Also, Florida, I think, was even flatter than that.
Yeah, I think Florida was the flattest or something like that overall.
Yeah, but how are they using the term flat, though?
I'll pull it up right now.
No changes in elevation, probably.
Oh, right, yeah, that's cool. That fits.
I would imagine.
Yeah, so it fits the globe perfectly. There's just no change in elevation, which would make it very flat. So there you go.
They say the same thing about the Nullarbor Plain here.
Yeah, I've had arguments with somebody about that one.
Yeah.
How does it not apply to a flat Earth, though?
It can do. There is no difference between the two.
Okay, so it's not really much of a proof for a globe, right?
No, but it's what we'd expect to see. So.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, my bad. Trying to find it. Yeah, it says. Let me see where the number is. Oh, there it is. It's example. Oh, conclusion. There it is. It says, simply put, our results show that Kansas is considerably flatter than a pancake. And here is the little. Oh, they're not going to show me. Hang on, I'll show it.
Who cooked the pancake?
Yeah.
Not on the book. No one knew that reference, really.
How would that same area compare to, say, like the ocean? I wonder.
Well, the ocean should just be flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That same size, the state of Kansas, if that was on the ocean, would it be similar? If that makes sense.
No, it'd be a straight line. Don't you know the flat Earth people have used the Google Pro as proof of flat Earth?
They use Google Earth to measure distances. Yeah.
Yeah, it says we were able to estimate that Kansas flatness is approximately 0.9997, which makes 0 sense because I didn't read the rest of it. But
wait a minute. That diagram there showing that diagram showing Kansas and a pancake. I think that's just for effect. That's a disingenuous comparison because obviously a pancake has got it's got walls. So obviously anything that's not got walls to build up to a plateau is going to be flatter than a pancake.
That's what I said. Who cooked that pancake?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's an inconsistent way of putting something in perspective, really. I mean, using a pancake is ridiculous.
I think it's more of a study of a expression.
Yeah,
that's it.
And was it Stingray that started talking about the different states and the flatness? Was that you?
Yeah.
This is why I avoided it because I knew. So look at the conversation we had. Have y'all been paying attention to the conversation? Like I asked him about that, and he says he knows it's flat. I asked him which 10 states, which ones you verified. He's like, I verified everything but what did he say? Alaska and what's the other one? Can't find the other comment. He verified everything but Alaska and another one. Okay, well, how did you verify it? I've been there. So say what? So you were there and you just suddenly had the flash of understanding that it's flatter than a pancake?
Wait, what were his? Can you name off the list of states he said he's been to?
He said he says he has to look them all up. He doesn't know them all. But he says he's been through all of them except for Alaska and another one. So then I asked him, okay, well, how did you? Oh, he said everything but Louisiana and Alaska. This is at 5.518 on my screen. Everything but Louisiana and Alaska. Ask him, how did you verify this, that it's been flat? I have been there. So just being there, you just suddenly had a flash of understanding that it's flat? This is what he says.
This is like, I drove through it, and it seemed flat.
Exactly. But this is what he says. I says, so just being there, you just suddenly had a flash of understanding that it's flat? This is what he says. I flew to Amsterdam and looked out both windows and saw no curve. This is his response. You know what I'm saying? So I already knew it was going to be a waste of time.
Yeah.
Most likely he just read something on some website or some YouTube video.
Yeah. Well, if he's only looked out 2 windows on a plane.
No, he said Amsterdam. No, he said Amsterdam. Yeah. He didn't say Kansas.
But when he says he was flying across and looked out both windows and saw no curvature, it took a sample of 2. The plane has got a lot more windows. Maybe it was visible in all the other windows. He just missed it.
But the fact is,
he should have went up to the cockpit and asked the pilots, could he look out the front?
Yeah.
Oh, you flew over the states? Like you flew over those 10 states, Shawn Becker?
Did you do a grid pattern?
How high do you guys believe that you should be before a noticeable curve should be visible?
With what, naked eye or optic? And if optic, what field of view and focal length?
Very good.
And that naked eye with
22 kilometers.
Camera.
Yeah, naked eye, 22 kilometers. I would absolutely notice curvature, which is about 78,000 feet, I think.
Yeah, I can tell you. B-Ball for real did he just got a drone, and he did a video, an upload, and I started taking screenshots, and he said he was at I think it was 220 feet above sea level, and I took a screenshot and I drew the line with my ink press, and there's the noticeable curvature. You can see it.
Oh yeah, if you use tools, Shawn, you can see it at 100 foot. If you want to work out that there's curvature there, you can do it at 100 foot, but that's not naked eye. Naked eye, 22 kilometers.
Yeah.
Using tools, 100 foot, you can do it. 300 foot, you can absolutely do it using tools. But then using a camera, you do need to work out the field of view as to how much curvature you would see, because you're looking for minuscule amounts of curvature, because every flat earther that criticizes the globe model doesn't really understand it. Like saying that the states are flat, therefore it's flat. Great. What did you expect to see on a globe Earth? And how did you verify that it wasn't, given the magnitude of the size? There's just no answer to that, because you have to understand the globe models to be able to criticize it, and they don't.
I understand the globe model.
So how many? So curvature-wise, how much would you expect to see laterally at average viewer height, 6 foot, looking out across an ocean?
You mean before objects start disappearing?
No, I meant lateral, left to right lateral curvature.
Oh.
How much curvature would you expect to see stood at 6 foot, looking out over an ocean?
I wouldn't expect to see any.
Okay, cool. What about 100 foot?
I still wouldn't expect to see any. You can be in a plane and not see curve. I mean,
but wait a minute. We are seeing. Wait a minute. Yeah, we are seeing curve. We're seeing curve. We're just not noticing it. The human eye, given a 35-degree detailed field of view, will only detect 3 degrees of curvature. That's it. Anything below that, we will dismiss as a straight line almost. It's only definitive at 3 degrees. 3 degrees is 22 kilometers. But even at a few kilometers, you're seeing 0.4 degree, let's say 2 degrees. So you are seeing it. And that's why you can take a photo of it, compress it, and realize that it's there. Your eyes are seeing it. Your brain isn't perceiving it. There's a big difference.
It's the old pool cue trick thing.
Have you guys seen a video by Life is Short?
Yes. Is it about diffraction limit of light? Hallway.
It's about angular resolution and
yes, I've seen that.
It's about all the
yes,
where he mathematically.
No.
You haven't seen that?
No, I have, but you said he mathematically, and he doesn't actually mathematically do anything that we're not aware of, but then he comes up with some very weird and spurious things. So, for instance, he conducts an experiment that is flawed from the beginning because of his understanding of how light will propagate through glass, given the radius of that glass being significantly different. And I can demonstrate that for you if you want. I can show you
the angle of incident.
Jesus, wait a minute. I'm gonna share it and draw.
Have any of you other guys seen that video?
I haven't.
There's 6 of them actually in the same series. It's pretty interesting. You guys might want to check it out.
So is he talking about angle of attack?
No. It's so it conflates a few things, but I'm just going to share now. So who is it that I'm talking to? Is it Fight the Deception?
Yeah, hang on. Let me get there so I can share it. All right.
So you read it. So we've got 3 issues, yeah? 3 issues that absolutely invalidate anything that he can come up with in that experiment. That being someone quite familiar with math and equations, he even gets the equations wrong, actually. He even gets a ratio wrong. Not significantly, but it is. But anyway, so he's comparing not apples to oranges. He's comparing apples to the seed of a grape. That's my analogy. And by that, I mean, he's got one lens that is this big, and this is the DSLR lens. Now, what he does is he lines them both up, center line lenses. And then he's also lining up at the other side an iPhone lens. There we go. And then this is the iPhone lens. Now, is this a fair comparison between 2 things? Absolutely not, just based on this premise alone. So if you imagine that we have light coming from down here, and it's traveling like so. This gets seen in a DSLR. It does not get seen in a tiny iPhone lens unless, lo and behold, we move the iPhone lens up to, what is it, Shawn? The angle of incidence, the incidence line, whereby then it will get shown when you move it up. Awesome. So that's problem number one. Problem number two.
And what was the problem with that?
The problem is this red line is light coming in, yeah? So let's call it light from the laser. Let's call it light from an object. It could be anything. This lens here, I'll tell you what, I'll color them so we can see what we're on about. So the green lens is the DSLR lens, yeah? The blue lens, or the, wait a minute, let's have a lighter blue. The blue lens is the iPhone lens. The red line is light. Now this red line will be focused to the sensor of the DSLR via that lens, and it'll get recorded. It will not get recorded by the iPhone. Do you understand that?
And the reason for that is what you said?
It's not getting into the lens. We've got two different lens sizes. The entire...
I understand. I understand that, but if it's obviously closer to the ground, more of that object is going to be obscured at the other end.
Say that statement again.
I think you're talking about two different things.
Yeah, so what I'm on about here is this is what invalidates the experiment in saying one thing can perceive something, another thing can't perceive something. There is actually another aspect to this. And the other aspect is that the lens element is shaped like that because it takes in light from a field of view and focuses it down to the back of the element, which straightens it out. So we've got a large field of view coming into a narrower field of view, and that's how lens elements work. They control refraction of light. So the issue that we've got here is the field of view. So on the DSLR, we've got a wide field of view as well, which means light coming in at this angle is going to get seen. Light coming in at this angle is going to get seen. On the iPhone, we've got less of a field of view. Or more, it doesn't actually matter. The point is there is a huge difference. Now, are you ready? So that's point number one. The lenses are the wrong sizes, and it's not even a fair comparison. So point number two is sensor. And point number three is, let's say, I'm just going to put the word auto, and then I'll put underneath it AF, EX, and FL. Right, so on one side, on the sensor, on the DSLR, we've got a huge sensor this big. On the iPhone, we've got a sensor this big. What that actually equates to is on the DSLR sensor, we've got and just for the sake of argument, we've got a sensory receptor on it that is actually this big. On the iPhone, it's that big, that dot at the right-hand side. So now it's not as good at determining light. It can't sense light. The other thing that we've got is the iPhone is a crappy iPhone, and I think it was 8 megapixel. And the sensor on the DSLR he used was 21 megapixel. Which now means that if we divide this up into sensor strips that are going to be scan line red when the sensor takes reading, an object that is this tiny across here is actually not going to get red on the iPhone. But because there are more per square area on the DSLR, this is now taking up more of a ratio of 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So it will get registered. So that's a sensor size and sensor interpolation disparity that it's got. But this is the most interesting. Auto, AF, EX, and FL. So the one thing on the DSLR is I control the exposure. I control the f-stop and the timing. I control the focal length. I have complete, utter control. What do I have on the iPhone? Nothing. Great. So now we have to understand how an iPhone works. We've got a sensor and we've got a DSP, digital signal processor, that's reading from the iPhone sensor that's behind the lens. And the lens is looking this way, like so. Now, the AF, what's it doing? Autofocus. So basically, this sensor sends out a pattern. And it quickly determines what's in focus and what isn't. And it's got a weight to it. Now, most AF focus patterns will look like 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, like this. Now, when the iPhone is low, the ground is taking up this much. Sorry, wait a minute. The ground is taking up this much. Which means all of those autofocus points are actually on the ground, not at that far wall, which would be here. So now, anything that's outside of that focal range has a chance to be blurred or not even registered, coupled with the compound effects of the sensor size as well, and interpolation of the sensor. But now when he lifts it up, this ground goes down to here, which means now the bias of the autofocus is here on the wall. So now it can actually change focal length and focus on the end of the hallway a little bit better. It doesn't matter whether it absolutely focuses or doesn't. The fact it's not taken into consideration or considered is the problem. Now, the other thing is this, exposure. You do not get a chance to alter either the aperture or the timing on the iPhone. You do on the DSLR. So now this image on the iPhone runs through the digital signal processing chip to an image processor, and the image processor decides what the exposure is, which is the aperture and time. Now it uses a similar, it's not a focus pattern like this, but it uses a sample pattern, I think, on an iPhone like this. It's not a great deal because of the processing power, but it works out the exposure compensation based on sampling points on how it needs to alter aperture and time. The DSLR doesn't, it's fixed. So now the iPhone has the ability to be able to you know, auto level, auto color balance, and auto expose. So when you lift it up based on these sample points, more of them hitting the end wall, it's going to bias towards the end wall. So even in color processing, it's going to say, hell, I'm going to pay more attention to this end wall than I am the floor now. This is not something that happens with the DSLR. So it is a dishonest test to me, or a blatantly misinterpreted results because of these three elements alone. And I'm not even a professional photographer at this stage. And I can tell you that this is wrong.
Why is the camera angled towards the floor?
It doesn't matter. This could be pointed that way and it could be straight. Doesn't matter. The field of view would actually hit the floor. But if you look, his was actually the iPhone camera was leveled about like so on the floor. And then when he lifted it up, which is like this version, the floor was like here. So you do get that bias and change. But these sample points for the focus and these sample points here will bias anything close anyway. If you look, the image processor and the DSP will always bias because the algorithms say if something's close up, that's probably what you're wanting to take a photo of based on the surface area that it's covering. So the auto exposure, auto color balance, auto leveling, and auto focus points will always kind of bias in a weighted sense things that are closer, because most people take damn selfies and pictures of people with mass amounts of background in.
So if you take that same iPhone and bring it closer to the object, say it was a flashlight at the end of a long hallway, or I saw one where they did it inside of a Walmart or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
so, or let's put ourselves in Kansas, okay? And someone that goes away from your, or they're a car driving away on a highway. How far away before you think it's gonna? Which way should it disappear first? Obviously, it's gonna disappear bottom up because
No, wait a minute. Stop.
the Earth is there.
No, stop.
Yeah.
Nothing ever disappears in a geometric fashion from the bottom up if you are above the floor. That is basic reality and geometry 101. So if you look at my screen right now,
it'd be good to remember that it can't work, because that would be the same thing as a rocket shooting into the sky, disappearing bottom up. It makes no sense.
Yeah, so it's really easy to invalidate. We can invalidate it really, really easily, because all we have to do is come up with a relationship. Yeah, I've got an object here. The hypothesis is that it will disappear from the bottom up, starting at this section. Yeah, I've got an observer over here that's looking in this direction. They are looking straight along here. Why is this bottom bit, which I'll just, piss around in red? Why is that disappearing? Let's try and logically come up with an answer.
Okay, but just like in your diagram you drew a minute ago, with the camera that was facing down towards the Earth, kinda. Okay.
So wait a minute. So what you want to do?
You can see more. You can see more.
Wait a minute. Let me just do that. Let's do it one step at a time. So what you're on about here is
you can see more surface area. The higher you are on a flat surface, the more surface area you're going to be able to see. So you're going to be able to see,
No, are you ready? No. Let's say not higher, not lower. Let's work out this example. So the hypothesis is this: I'm looking at this area here, and I cannot see it. This is my field of view. I can see all of the blue, but I cannot see, for some reason, the red part of this object. But I can see the blue part of this object. Why might that be?
Yeah, there's a lot of different reasons. For one
Give
thing,
me the one where the magnitude of the effect is greatest, and let's deal with that.
I'm going to say atmospheric conditions.
So atmospheric conditions, define that first. Let's say what are atmospheric conditions.
Yeah, you could be at sea level and it's going to be worse.
So atmospheric conditions, you mean particulates in the air that cause kind of a hazing?
That's one thing.
Right. Okay. So
moisture
is that
wait a minute? Stop.
Yep.
So does that?
Yep. Wait a minute. So does that bias? Why does that bias the bottom of this object? Given that the distance between me and the top and me and the bottom is probably 0.00001%. And why is it an apparent effect with a termination line? Why is it not linearly all the way up the object? In other words, it would be faded at the bottom, but visible at the top, and it would gradually get more visible at the top. So why is atmosphere coming into this here then, when this is not what we see? Do you understand what I've just explained?
We see it all the time. What are you talking about?
We do on the ocean when the ocean is curved.
You see it out in the desert.
Oh, so what you're on about now is mirage effects, yes?
Well, yeah, there's all kinds of mirages.
No, that's awesome. So mirage effects, let's go back. So do you know how mirage effects work? Or what is a mirage? Or what's actually happening?
Yeah, temperature. It has to do with the temperature and the, moisture.
Not what causes it. I meant, not what causes it. I meant what's happening.
In my opinion, I think you're seeing horizontally through a layer of thick gas because the heaviest gases are closest to the Earth. Okay.
Mm.
And so you're looking through literally, however far of a liquid, atmospheric layer that you're looking through. It's like looking through a piece of glass.
So you're saying distance relates to seeing a mirage?
Well, not necessarily. No, you can see a mirage in a short distance too. But all I'm saying is the mirage happens, from the bottom up.
But wait a minute. What about
a big reason.
Let's just cover the first assertion, and that's that heavier gases are at the bottom. So the atmosphere consists of nitrogen, oxygen, argon, and other gases.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't separate. That is what we call the atmosphere. So we have we don't have the heaviest of them at the bottom, and then we don't have oxygen midway, I guess, and argon right at the bottom, and then nitrogen in the middle, I guess. We don't have that. It's all a mixture. So it's just air, an atmosphere. That's what we'll call it. Now there is a pressure gradient that goes down.
So you're saying heavier gases don't
not given the effects in what we call the atmosphere. If in a controlled environment with no other outside forces such as wind currents, it's easier to mix them, put it that way, and keep them mixed in our atmosphere. Otherwise, we'd be breathing argon. I'm pretty sure argon's the heavier of all the gases in the atmosphere, right?
So if I pop a balloon, what happens to the helium? It just mixes in and stays down here. That's what you're saying?
No, helium is incredibly is different to nitrogen, oxygen, and argon, and carbon dioxide.
But all the ones you're describing have similar.
The mixture of them and how they're bound together and mix. Yeah, the turbulence of weather patterns and air currents and all kinds of things. I don't claim to know it entirely, but it stays in a general pattern. Otherwise, like I say, well, just do you believe that we're breathing argon right now? Because argon is responsible for 1% of our atmosphere, which would cover the ground.
I don't.
And I think argon is the heavier gas. I might be wrong, actually. Might be carbon dioxide. Damn it, I'm going to have a look at this now.
Which one's the heaviest, you said?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I thought it was argon.
Sulfur hexafluoride is pretty
No,
heavy.
I meant that makes up our atmosphere. That might be the case if we were near a thermal vent, but
I think it's mostly nitrogen.
I thought argon was heavier. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm googling it now.
Yeah. Damn.
Pretty sure nitrogen is. There's more nitrogen than there. I think there's only like 12% oxygen, or.
Well, conservatively, there's 20 to 23% oxygen content, 75 to 80% nitrogen, and then the rest is like 1% argon, and then something else. But anyway, going back to this example, because the idea was what is a mirage effect, and a mirage effect is quite simply this: it's because of a pressure gradient and possibly heat differentials that cause different densities in air pockets. The lines from this actually bend up to our eye, whereas looking above, it doesn't bend as much. And then inferior mirages are pretty awesome because what they start to do is bend so much that they come in at the top. So this is the pattern of light that's coming in. So yes, you can have something that is messing up the bottom of an object. I will give you that. But are you ready? Here is the killer fact that no one's ever got round.
Your diagram is the exact opposite of what they say. Like the guy that did the Chicago skyline, the news guy. His diagram had the I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it was bending it up in an arc, supposedly.
Actually, wait a minute. Yes,
Have you ever seen what I'm
well,
talking about?
sorry. I'm doing this on a flat plane at the moment.
Yeah.
So if I were to put it on an arc like that, all of these would be inversed and go round. But I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt at the moment. So this is what refraction does. But I'm just showing, if we want a straight line, how this image would get assembled. This isn't the way I think it works. I think it works on an arc like this. So anyway, and obviously all of these would be bent accordingly. But this is how the vectors of these lights intersect and change, which is why this object looks very different when it reaches my eye. But what everybody fails to understand is this object has also done this. It's moved down. So it's not that the red part here is now, inversed or messed up or blurred or looks like a watery mess because of shimmering effects of refraction. It's hidden here and it's moved down.
Okay, think about this for a minute. If you drive on imagine you're looking down a straight road that has telephone poles right as far as you could see. Say we're in Kansas again, okay? And if you look up, there's a street light directly above your head.
Wait a minute. You're going to describe to me perspective.
Just wait. Okay.
Yeah, but
exactly.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm a 3D artist, so I absolutely know what perspective is.
They're getting closer to the horizon.
Right, stop right there. Stop right there. I know it. I'm really sorry.
Me.
I know exactly what you're going to say. I'm going to draw it for you. I am going to draw it for you. And it isn't that I'm just trying to be expedient with time here because I've got to make a business call in a second.
So how do you not believe that eventually there's going to be a point where they're going to intersect visually?
No, they'll get to a vanishing point, correct. They will not be obscured partially, ever. So are you ready? No, this is geometric law. This is actually the law of perspective. Parallel lines will only ever converge, they will never diverge. That is a geometric law and a law of perspective. And I'm going to draw you this perspective diagram right now. So we've got observer A here looking at these 4 blue lines. And we've got a red line here as the ground. Now the ground actually does this all the way across. And this is our perceptual horizon. Now, these blue lines here start out like so, then start out like so, then go like so, and then go like so. That is perspective. That's just what's happening. What will never happen, ever, is any of these, which we'll call 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is 4 in the distance, 4 will never get partially obscured from the bottom up due to perspective. It is a geometric impossibility. And I'm sorry that someone's told you that it isn't. You've got a 16-year graphics artist that understands 3D and has programmed 3D stuff telling you that is absolutely impossible in reality. If this was possible in reality, it will be the world's biggest phenomenon because it contradicts everything that we see and everything that we can predict. Now, the only examples that a flat earther ever comes up with to combat this is when things go over a curve. So the boat's here, the observer's here looking this way, and we can now only see that much of it. Or they move the observer down below the table or something. In which case, yes, obviously, your angle of seeing things now is like this. So things will disappear from the bottom first. That's just geometric law.
If you're looking down a long hallway, you can't see all the way to the other end sometimes.
Yeah, that's just
You're
angle
saying
of.
that's curvature? You
No,
think that's
no,
curvature?
no. I'm talking here about things disappearing from the bottom first. That is completely independent to angular size. Angular size is not things disappearing from the bottom up.
But visually, that's how it works, though.
Yes, except angular size has got nothing to do with things disappearing from the bottom up. Angular size uniformly makes things smaller until we cannot resolve them. It doesn't think, hey, I'm going to fuck with this object from the bottom before I fuck with it from the top. That is impossible and implausible.
Okay, visually, all those lines meet up in the very middle, the very center.
Sorry, say that again.
If you're looking down a long hallway, okay, and you can't see to the other end of it, that's not because of curvature, right?
No, correct. That's angular size.
And visually, to our vision, the thing, all the the lights, the hall lights, and the doors and everything, as they,
Wait a minute. Don't get me wrong. You're arguing a point that I agree with you on, so I think we ought to stop arguing on this. No, wait a minute.
Well,
look. This, I'm going to take it down to nothing.
Why are you keep interrupting?
Nothing.
Why are you keep interrupting me?
No, I'm agreeing with you, but it's got nothing to do with things disappearing from the bottom up. So yes,
then why can't you see to the other end of the hallway?
Angular size. What? Number 4 will have got so small that I can no longer see it. But at the point of me being able to see it, I will see all of it.
Yeah, but
that's angular size reduction.
The hallway is flat, and
it doesn't matter whether it doesn't matter. Flatness has got nothing to do with it. Flatness has got nothing to do with it. It's angular size. Can you tell me why angular size has got anything to do with biasing the bottom of an object? Yes or no? Why does it favor the bottom of an object?
Because that's the only physical object that would be able to. I mean,
wait a minute. We zoom in to ships, right? And we can see huge ships that are obscured. That's to say we have a horizon line here, and we have the hull of a ship that's almost missing most of it. That was terrible English there. But almost missing, huge sections of it below the water. Now, angular size is the amount is the angles between the top here, the bottom here, and you can also have it this way as well. And it's measured in arc seconds, or it's measured in degrees based on field of view. Doesn't matter. The point is, why am I missing this if I can see the top? It's impossible.
Oh man. Well, we can see like bodies of land that are.
That's not what I'm on about. I'm on about this boat now. Why can I no longer see the hull of this boat?
The boat is in the water, and the water undulates. It's not. It's. I mean.
Okay. So wait a minute. Let's deal with another perspective law here, and this perspective law is awesome because. Are you ready? Look at this. So we've got an ocean, and we're going to look out across this ocean. I'm going to say that, and this is a law of perspective. Now we've got a ship here. Actually, this doesn't look like a ship, so let's have that. We're looking
for a lot of reasons, but I mean.
Wait a minute. We're looking front on from the ship, by the way. Now we've got an observer that's here.
Why don't you want to address objects that don't move? There's not so many variables, like land.
Well, because cameras allow us to freeze moments in time, thus making the object not move. So there is no difference. So if we look at this ship now, and we've got a field of view like this, and we can see all the way to this ship. Now, if there is a wave here that is lower than this parallel line to the ship, so we've got two parallel lines, this wave height, if it is lower than that vision, the maximum amount that it can ever cover of that vessel is its own height when it's next to it. That's it. There is no other there's no other argument here. These are the laws of perspective of parallel lines. If the wave was higher, then yes. Oh, wait a minute. I've just got to nip to the front door.
I mean, basically all the pictures that I've seen pretty much have waves and all kinds of stuff going on.
Oh no, the laws have waves, but this law that I'm showing you right now is law. The wave that's higher than the vision line will cause obstruction closer, but the further it goes away, I will now be able to see this part of the object. This is just what perspective is. This is all perspective is. Now, if you guys wanted to prove flat Earth, you would just have to explain one thing.
How do things converge into disappearing in a hallway that's flat?
Just angular size. Angular size. Distance. Angular size is derived from perspective, and it's something that is incredibly well understood. But angular size uniformly makes things smaller. It does not favor left to right or up to down or the bottom of an object or the top of an object. It really does not.
I disagree with that.
You don't have to agree. You are just plain wrong.
He's charted it out mathematically, and it's comes to within like 20 miles of the globe math for the circumference of the Earth.
Who has?
You must not have seen the video I'm talking about, huh?
The life is short diffraction limit of lenses, yes, I did. And that was the one that we're describing that's got many flaws when he did an experiment at the tunnel. If there's another one that you're talking about, then I don't know.
No, that's not the one I'm talking about.
All right, yeah, no, I've not seen the other one. I just watched. Yeah, that's terrible.
I thought you said you saw it.
No, the one with the hallway, and that's what was on about with the iPhone lens versus the DSLR when he's on about diffraction limits of optics and things that he got wrong. So here's the thing. Do you want to prove flat Earth? Because this is really easy. Flat Earth is incredibly simple to prove. Do you want a foolproof way to prove it? So, do you accept the laws of parallel lines? Yeah. If we have two parallel lines that are equidistant, they will always be in physical reality the same distance, and they can never diverge. So underneath, I'm going to draw the perspective version of this. They can never diverge. They will only ever converge. In other words, they cannot do this. Oops, that's a bit wrong.
You mean crossover or?
Yeah, so this is convergence coming together. Divergence is if they carried on and went like this.
Yeah.
So these two lines, A and B, which I'll label A, oops, it's a terrible A and B, that are parallel, can never diverge, as in that. They will only ever converge to a vanishing point.
Like railway.
They will always maintain the same distance going away, or relational distance to each other, and that's it.
Okay.
Now, all you need to do to prove flat Earth is this, and this is really simple. I don't get why people don't do it. Let's take an ocean, and let's get survey data for a boat. This boat, we need to know its draft, and it's based on its weight, and then we need to know its deck levels and the highest part of it. Yeah. So let's say that the highest part is 100 foot. Yeah. Now all we need to do is find an observer height that puts us at 100 foot. That's it. 100 foot. And we need to look at the top of that. And then we need to record this going away. Now, based on the laws of parallel lines on a flat surface, this top section here, which is the center point of our view, which we'll call point A, will never ever leave that line, ever. Because when we're looking at it in a perspective view, and I'll draw the perspective view down here, our center focal point line here, when the ship is close, the stack is here like so. When the ship is further away, the stack is here like so. Or when it's further away, even further, it's going like this. And it's getting smaller towards the vanishing point, which is the center point of A. Now this stack, point A, will never leave that line. If any flat earther does this, they win the argument. Just film that ship going away. But what you will find in reality is that this doesn't happen. It doesn't stay on that line. At some point, it starts getting lower than that line and lower than that line till it gets obscured by the ocean. That is impossible on a flat surface and only possible if it's a curve.
Block for block used to.
Well, the
What
farthest
you
it
see
can,
down the bottom.
the farthest it can,
I haven't heard what happened to him.
the farthest the line
Fell
can
off
go
the
down
edge.
is.
Yeah.
But the problem is the farthest that the observer could look down is the horizon.
No. We can zoom in at things that are over the horizon, obscured by the bottom, obscured on the bottom by the ocean. The ocean is, the curve presents us with the horizon, unless there's extreme atmospheric densities involved, like fog or something like that. Our horizon is always the curve, because the horizon also, the distance to the horizon, matches exactly what we would expect to see on a curve based on our elevation. If we go up higher, we can work out how far the horizon is away and test it. It's really simple. And it matches the curve perfectly of 1 degree per 69 normal miles or 60 nautical miles or 110 kilometers or whatever. Oh my God, I remembered that. That was awesome.
The thing is your observer there, if it's looking at point A, okay, the point A is going to constantly be changing from when it leaves shore to when it meets the horizon. The observer would be constantly having to tilt their head down.
No,
bit.
these are the laws of parallel lines. They don't do that.
Not if you're on a flat Earth, you wouldn't.
Yeah. So on a flat Earth, these two parallel lines will always converge, never diverge, and that center line is always going to be the center line. If something sits on it close up and moves exactly parallel to that line, intersecting that line, it will never diverge from that line. That is just the law of perspective. If it's moving the same, if it's moving directly away from you, it will never leave that line. Plain and simple.
Like, I've never seen railway tracks cross over.
So it's really easy just to prove flat Earth. I don't know why people haven't done it yet.
But visually they do cross over.
No, they don't cross. Parallel lines never cross.
Visually, to your vision, yeah, they meet.
They meet. That's converge. Correct.
Converge.
They never.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
correct.
exactly what I'm talking about.
All right. Yeah, they will converge. So you see point A here. You see point.
All right, you all. I was about to call it a night, or day, or morning. But I shall be back. If not before then, Saturday, to moderate the debate between Shawn and SC Montreal. I may even go through the stream today and get the discussion I had with that guy out of the chat. It was a telling discussion as far as the flat earth logic. So we'll see. But thank y'all for watching who watched. Why don't we enjoy this magnificent background, and you have a nice one.